Good afternoon, everyone. For us, it's Wednesday as far as our game prep, and we're doing a lot of things: third down, red zone, some of the situational things today. We had a good bye week last week. We're able to practice a handful of times. Worked a lot with our younger players, and then reconvened on Sunday and started to go with Oklahoma State. And we know we've got a big task ahead, playing in Stillwater, and got to play really well. We got to have another good day of preparation and get ready for Friday night.
What stood out to you the most about the work you did in the off week?
Just probably more with those developmental freshmen and redshirt freshmen, and that's the group that we always focus on every bye week, is to try to make sure that we get the younger guys just good on good. K-State versus K-State, went pads 3 days with those guys and just practiced, and then because whether or not their future is now or future is in another year, we have to continue to evaluate.
Anything to be taken from last year's Oklahoma State game, or is that just kind of maybe an outlier?
Well, it was a big win for sure, and we played well, but two totally different teams in my mind. A lot of things went right for us last year and made some plays, and but I don't take a lot from it. We don't look at the film and say, boy, we're going to get this or that, because of just two totally different teams.
Doing some math before I came over, which is scary.
Yeah.
And I discovered you've had one big run in the last 3 games. If you can tamp down those explosive plays, you're only giving up 1.3 yards per carry. What is that barrier like?
Well, we have to continue to be really good in the run. It hurts being down Daniel Green in the run game for us for sure. We've got other guys that are stepping up, but every week's probably a different challenge in what we're going to face running the football. Oklahoma State presents a lot of challenges. They've when we've gone down there, we have not been able to stop them from running the football. Winning the line of scrimmage in Stillwater's been difficult, and that's the task at hand. We've got to be good on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Coach saw Asa wasn't on the depth chart this week. What's his status?
Yeah, he got hurt in the open week, and so we'll probably redshirt him.
And Oklahoma State, they've played a lot of quarterbacks this season. It sounds like they're going to start Alan Bowman this game, see what happens from there. Just when you're watching a team that has that much, I guess, change at quarterback, How does that change your evaluation and how you prepare for them?
Well, you got to look at all the guys that have played, but the most recent one was the Iowa State game where Bowman played the entirety of that game, and I thought they did some really, really good things offensively, so that would be the anticipation. And then we've got to adapt and adjust if it's somebody else, but I would anticipate Bowman playing.
Coach, how much would a bye week assist them with moving into the 3-3-5, and you've gone through that a couple years ago?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how it assists them. I don't know what their plans are and stuff. But the bye week is typically the same for everybody. You try to get your younger players more repetition. You try to fix some of the issues that your team has. I don't know what their issues are. I know what our issues are, and that's what we tried to focus on, is try to get better at some of our things. So I don't have an opinion on what they would have done.
Did you do anything differently with VJ Payne and Kobe Savage? I think on the depth chart, list them in different safety spots.
Yeah, that was before UCF. Yeah, so we did that before UCF. So we switched their positions before UCF, and so now they've had another 2 weeks to get acclimated. You say that Klieman does a really good job of making guys versatile and having to play different spots in practice, spring ball, fall camp. So it was something that we thought would help our team, but it wasn't like a wholesale change, like somebody moving from safety to linebacker or linebacker to D-line. We have so many interchangeable guys in the secondary.
John Pastori's on the depth chart now. Is he someone that you envision being in the rotation at some point?
Yeah, if he continues to improve, and he was banged up for a good chunk of camp and early on in the season, so he's working his way back, but gives us another viable candidate at tackle for sure.
How do you feel about your vertical passing game? I know you guys are still trying to unlock
Yeah.
that a little bit.
Still trying to continue to improve on it. Without a doubt, we've been able to be efficient offensively. I mean, we're moving the ball and gaining a lot of yards and points, and pleased with where we're at offensively. But yeah, I mean, I guess when you look at it from the flip side, we're giving up more explosive plays on defense, which we've got to control. You'd hope you'd get a few more on offense. That's probably where it's more glaring, is the fact that the amount we've given up on defense compared to what we've gotten on offense. And so, we got to fix the issues we have on defense, but on offense, continue to find ways to push the ball downfield for sure.
Do you look back at Bowman's time at Tech at all?
No, it was a long time ago. So, yeah, he's one of those guys who's played a lot of football. I know that, when you have that much experience, I mean, look at Will. Just playing that much, practicing that much. There's not a lot of pictures that fool you, and I don't see this kid being fooled by any pictures. And so, but we'll look at how he's done within the scheme that he's in at Oklahoma State.
Is the plan at middle linebacker still have Jake kind of in there a little bit to help out, or what's
Jake can play all three, so he'll fill in a lot, potentially at all spots. I'm excited about Bo Palmer because Bo continues to get better and continues to get healthier from his injury last season. The one area that you hope we don't have to use Jake is as the Mike backer because of where Bo's at. But he definitely could play all three. I'd see him more at Sam and Will.
How valuable is a bye week for someone like Austin Romaine, who is still
Yeah.
in the process of learning and developing?
Yeah, I think it's really valuable for guys like he and anybody that's even somebody like Trayshawn Ward that missed some time and missed a game is back. Just getting those guys more and more acclimated to the offense, to the defense. Will Lee, getting him more acclimated to what we're doing. Trey Spivey, guys that are close or are helping us, but they've only been in our program for a short period of time.
Aside from the usual desire to win, is there anything extra for you to get a win this week, considering that you haven't won in Stillwater? Yeah.
I don't lose any sleep over it. So we just got to play good football.
Chris, how has Chris Tennant responded after missing a few kids?
I thought he had a really good week last week, exceptional week. I was wondering how he would bounce back. I've seen a different side of him from a mentality standpoint that is encouraging, that I thought he would have struggled last year getting over some of his difficult days, and have not seen that thus far in the last week and a half. And so I'm excited about getting Chris out there and letting him bang him because he's got great leg strength, great talent, and he seems to not be bothered, which is good.
And you've only been there twice, but is there anything that sticks out to you about the stadium down there in Stillwater that makes it a difficult place to play?
It's just winning on the road in general. We haven't played our best football down there, but you can correlate that to we've not won the line of scrimmage. If you don't win the line of scrimmage, either side of the ball, and they're able to stop our rush, and we're able to, and they're able to rush the football, whether you're playing in the street parking lot or at home or away, it comes down to a mentality of being able to be physical and win the line of scrimmage. That's why it's so hard to say, boy, do you feel like don't play as well at home, don't play well on the road, tough environments and stuff. In the Big 12, it's hard to win on the road for sure. And the environment's something that, we got to work the noise a bunch because it's extremely loud down there, but you still got to be able to execute. And that's what it comes down to us is whether we're home or away. If we don't execute at a high level, we're not going to be very successful on either side of the ball.
Coach, what's impressing you the most about Austin Moore right now?
The leader that he's become, he's always been a quiet leader. This year, he's become that vocal leader. When I say this year, from the winter to the spring to the summer to now the fall, and he's had to amp it up with Daniel Green out. And when he speaks, everybody listens because he speaks volumes. And you just watch him practice, you watch him prepare. There's a reason why he's one of the best linebackers in the Big 12. He takes care of his body. He watches film. He helps the young guys. He encourages the older guys that are maybe struggling. He's just he's the ultimate captain and the ultimate warrior for our guys, because it hasn't been easy for Austin. He's been banged up during his time too, but boy, he comes to play every day.
Going back to what you were talking about earlier, the road warrior mentality, it seems like this team is a tough team. Seems like this team is a confident team. How might that bode that mentality of going on the road, being road warriors?
Yeah, hopefully experience. A lot of guys were on the road for us last year that had success, and granted, we didn't have success the first time that we were on the road, and hopefully we learned from that. And whether it was routine, whether it was environment, whether it was a combination of things. When you don't have success, you need to learn from it. And I feel like we've got the right leaders involved with our team, and talk about player ownership to make sure that our guys are ready. Now, are we going to be good enough? We'll find out on Friday night.
How much did the bye week benefit Keegan Johnson?
I hope it benefited him. I hope it benefited RJ. They've practiced this week, so that's encouraging. Everybody that played in the UCF game, with the exception of Asa, who was on special teams a couple of snaps, all those guys should be available. So you hope. We gave them a couple days off, but we had to practice on Sunday, which is not a typical practice day, so they probably had one less off day. But we were smart with them in the middle of last week when we were working some of our young guys' stuff. So hopefully they're all fresh.
You talked about the new guys, the developmental guys, but what about a guy like Christian Duffy, how helpful was the extra week?
That was big for Duff. More than anything, to get his legs underneath him. He needed to practice, and he practiced every day. There's not anybody that we just said, hey, you're not practicing for whatever reason. Everybody practiced all last week on the days we did practice. But getting Duff out there and having him go against Mott and Duke and Stufflebean and Nate, having him go against those guys, whether it was in a team period, a one-on-one period, just to continue to get him more football reps. He's had a lot in his time, but he hadn't had any, since spring ball. So I think it really benefited him to get his feet back underneath him.
And speaking of the offensive line, was the UCF game the best in terms of getting to the second level and playing in physical nature?
Yeah, I thought we played really well against UCF, and I thought DJ Giddens ran really well against UCF. It's a combination of things. We were able to throw the ball a little bit. So when you have balance, which was what we did, it makes it not easier, but makes it more. You should be able to be more efficient rushing the football when you have balance that you can throw. Your running back seeing and hitting the holes, and guys are communicating up front well. That's what we come to expect, and the challenge is a little bit different style of defense this week. That what adjustments we have to make as well, because I'm sure they're going to make adjustments just like we've made adjustments. Well, ball more is a topic of, compared to the first 3 weeks, yes. Compared to the fourth week, I don't know if we want to give it to him 40 times a game. When you talk about carries and receptions, we want to make sure he can last for the whole season. But without a doubt, he proved to us that he can be that bell cow that can carry it. Now, I don't know if that's 20 carries, if that's 18 carries and 6 catches. I'm not sure how the game will play out, but if if we could book and have 80 plays every game, yeah, we'd get him a lot of carries. But every game's going to be a little bit different.